Amazon is teaming up with Reed Morano and Charlie Kaufman on a book adaptation. Reed Morano is in a really interesting spot right now. She's attached to about a half dozen projects. And this project is something that Charlie Kaufman had mentioned when he was doing the press rounds for his book Antkind. And I was under the impression that that was probably going to be his next directorial outing. But my question to you is Reed Morano a good fit for what essentially feels like a Fahrenheit 451, something that's dystopian like. As we know, she's done texts. I think We're Alone Now and The Handmaid's Tale with her, which are both belong to very specific worlds. What do you think about this triangle of Kaufman, this piece of Japanese literature, and Reed Morano?
So I've read the book, and I saw some of the news reports this week, and everyone's like, and everyone is I think it's a lot of people haven't read the book, or at least who are at least writing about the film. And my initial reaction a few months ago was that I thought Charlie Kaufman was actually the wrong fit for the book. It touches on similar themes. It's basically set. I wouldn't even necessarily call it. It's a semi-dystopian world where you wake up one day and, let's say, an everyday object like a hairbrush. It'll be the memory police will have decided that collectively hairbrushes are verboten, and not only do they all completely disappear, people start forgetting about what a hairbrush is, what it does. So that item is erased from their memories. So the book itself is actually very, very grounded. It's not like Handmaid's Tale kind of dystopia. It's not Eternal Sunshine kind of surreal mania. It's really a very grounded personal story about a woman who's alone, and she's actually one of the few people who's able to remember things that disappear. And eventually she's a novelist, and she works with her book editor, and they come together as these events develop, and they become under scrutiny of the memory police. But it's really a very grounded story about the things in our lives that are important to us. So I kind of like that Reed Morano's directing it, because I think Charlie Kaufman tends to spin out into like more intellectual territory or into more surreal territory, where I think this needs something with a greater personal touch, because it's similar thematically, but in terms of style and aesthetic, it is very different.
Yeah, I'm thinking a lot about Reed Morano. Of course, we know her as a cinematographer, and she made her way into directing with a film with Olivia Wilde, and obviously The Handmaid's Tale was a major breakout for her. And I quite like certain elements, stylistic element, and choices that she makes in I Think We're Alone Now. I think specifically, I'm trying to imagine how the memory police might look like or sound like or feel like. I feel as if it's going to be something with a lot of textures, and especially if we're thinking of like separate objects and how we relate to something that's no longer there and how it is in memory. And I think Reed's work, especially in film, might do this film some good.
I think you're right. I think, that's the thing. I should also mention that in the novel itself, I mean, I don't know how the script plays out. There's actually not that many main characters. It's a very intimate story that essentially trades between a small handful of characters. So I think Reed Morano is a good choice, and you're right. Aesthetically, I think she will bring a lot to it, because it really needs. It's a film that's going to say a lot, I think, through visuals and through tone, and I think she will have the right touch to sort of bring it to life. And I'm actually curious where they'll set it. I mean, this is a Japanese novel, so obviously it was was set in that kind of setting. I'm curious if they'll how they will make that adaptation and what the characters are like and what the setting's like.
Yeah, perhaps they'll go for an Inaratu world, like a Babel or something that physically feels like a lot of places at the same time.
I'm Eric Lavallée. I'm editor-in-chief and site owner for IONCINEMA.com. And this is
Kevin Jagernauth, contributing writer for the playlist.
And together we are IndieSponge.